Thank you for taking time to judge Proficiency Awards. This webinar is designed to help judges and teachers understand the rubric that is needed to help judge Proficiency Awards at the section, district, and state level. This rubric is designed to help teachers compare Easy Records, paper books, and AET. We understand that all three of these record-keeping systems look very different. The purpose and point of this rubric is to help guide you through that process when comparing three different record-keeping systems. The first thing you're going to do on the rubric is place the SAE area in which you are judging on the line provided. The next step is placing your name in the evaluator blank, as you are going to give these rubrics, once completed, to the ag teacher that is the chair or the host of the room in which you are judging. If you're judging at the district level, please place the section number of the student in the top row. Beneath that, place the name of the student. Beneath the name of the student, we're going to place school. Beneath the school, you're going to place the number of years in the award area. This information can be found on the Proficiency Area Summary Form in the front of the record book, as well as the total hours, gross pay if in placement, and net earnings in an entrepreneur. Again, all three of these rows can be found on the Proficiency Area Summary Form in the front of the record book. Moving through the rubric and the points that we award on the record books, the first area we judge is the ability to keep records. The ability to keep records is worth 20 points. Whether you're judging Easy Records, paper books, or AET record books, you are looking at all of the pages in those record-keeping systems. It should also be noted that no preference should be given to any one of the record-keeping systems. All three record-keeping systems, paper books, Easy Records, and AET, should be judged equally using this rubric. Ability to keep records, you are judging their accuracy, neatness, representing the entire SAE, and using all the pages that apply to the member's SAE. The more they do that, the better they do that, the better they will score. Jobs and responsibilities is worth 20 points. In AET that can be found in the description of journal experiences. In Easy Records, it can be found on pages 4B and 5B in the book, in Easy Records and in the paper book. Scope and growth is for entrepreneurship books. Hours and earnings is for placement books. And accomplishments and findings are for agri-science books. All of these are worth 10 points. They can all be found in paper books and in Easy Records on pages 4B and 5B. They can also be found on the Proficiency Area Summary Form. In AET, they are found in the description of journal experiences, or also on the Proficiency Area Summary Form. Scope and growth, hours and earnings, accomplishments and findings, greater detail about these can be found on the left-hand side of your page. A number of hours is given for scope and growth to fall into above average, for an average, and for below average. In lieu of time, I don't want to take time and read through all of these descriptions, but I do ask that each judge and each teacher take a moment to read through those descriptions so that you can accurately score the students in each of the proficiency areas. Managerial responsibilities is worth 20 points. In Easy Records and in paper books, those can be found on pages 5B and 7. In AET, it is found in the description of journal experiences. Skills learned is worth 10 points. Then in Easy Records and in paper books, they can be found in the core pages, page 8. Core pages are also white pages in Easy Records or in paper books. In AET, it's found in the learning objectives. The last piece that you will judge is the technical knowledge of the SAE demonstrated by the interview. That is worth 20 points. Moving over to the left-hand side of the piece of paper that you'll be using, the rubric that you're given to judge at the district and state level. The first one, ability to keep records. You're going to read through these, take a moment to read through how a student scores in each one of the areas, above average, average, and below average. Once you've determined where the student falls in the range of scores, then you're going to take that score, multiply it times 2, and that gives you the total amount that that student would score in that area. Then you will place that score under the appropriate student's name in the row Ability to Keep Records. You're going to do the same thing for jobs and responsibilities. You're going to review this information for above average, average, and below average, determine the score that you would give them out of that range, multiply that score times 2, then gives you your number, and then place it in the appropriate column in the row for jobs and responsibilities. Scope and growth, hours and earnings, and accomplishments and findings, the same thing. You will read through the information given to you that will help you determine the score you're going to give them. Only this time, you don't have to multiply it times 2. It is a matter of 10 points. You place the score in the appropriate row, scope and growth, hours and earnings, or accomplishments and findings. Managerial responsibility. And then you'll take that score and you'll multiply it times 2 and then place the appropriate score in the managerial responsibilities. Skills learned is worth 10 points. Much like scope and growth, you determine the score that you would give them. It's worth 10 points. You place it in the skills learned row under the appropriate column. The interview, also worth 20 points. Whatever score you determine to give that student based on their interview and their interview answers, you take that score, you multiply it times 2, that gives you the number that you'll then place in this column. You'll then total up all of the scores for that student, giving them their total points. The student with the highest number of points is ranked number 1, and then on down through 5 accordingly. Again, if you have any questions, please direct those questions to the agriculture teacher that is the room host, or what we consider the chair of the room. They will be able to answer your questions about the 3 record-keeping systems, paper books, Easy Records, and AET, as well as utilizing this rubric. Again, we want to thank you for taking time to judge Proficiency Awards and help students during their FFA journey in their experiences with Proficiency Awards. Your time is greatly appreciated. We thank you for that, and we thank you for taking time to listen to this webinar, view the rubric, and review all of the guidelines in this process.